Good morning and welcome back to the Adventures of Mac and Anthea. In today's video we're going to make a start on about a month's worth of diggers work that we've got coming up on various jobs around the farm. We're going to start with building actually a new road in, digging out the soil and putting in hardcore to toughen it up so it can carry heavy weights. We've got an actual water tank to build, which is going to be about 6 metres by 4 metres by about 3 metres deep, a septic tank, trees to plant and various other bits and bobs to be done with the digger. But of course, before we can get on with that, we've still got a problem with the digger. And if you follow the channel, you may have seen me repair one of the hydraulic rams on the digger, only to find that the next one along the line on the arm had actually sprung a leak as well. So for those of you who didn't see that video, which wasn't particularly interesting to anybody unless you've got a need to learn how to do hydraulic repairs, we actually repaired this cylinder here. And I got it all done and started bleeding the system, only to find that actually this system was leaking as well. So before we can get on with actually doing any digger work, I think what we're going to do is get the cylinder disassembled, back to the farmhouse and get it repaired. Now please bear with me, because even though it's probably going to take me a day and a half to do that, it's only going to be a few seconds for you. So yep, I'll get that cylinder off and we'll get on with that, and then we'll get on with the real work. Good morning, welcome back. So as you saw, the hydraulic problems on the digger wasn't the end of our problems here. As it turns out, we had a flat tire on the dumper, which isn't unusual, when it's left stood for over time and we've sort of got cold nights and warm days, they often lose the air out of the inner tubes. But on this occasion, it's a bit more serious than that. I pumped it up and I could hear air hissing out between the valve and the actual wheel. I gave the valve a little tug and it came out completely. So obviously it perished where the actual valve hits meets the inner tube. So it meant, a new inner tube. And one would think on the face of it, not a big deal, just take it down and get it changed. Well, this is Spain and everything's a big deal and nothing's ever easy. There's only two sort of local, and when I say local, it's a 25-kilometre round trip to both of them, places that could change sort of truck, tyres and agricultural tyres. One of them I've already sacked years ago. It was a case you'd end up being over a week period. You drop the tire off, they couldn't do it straight away. You'd set a time to go and pick it up. You go and pick it up and it still wasn't done. So you'd set another time, still wasn't done. And that could go on for 3 or 4 days. Customer service was horrendous. The people were rude, and to be honest with you, I just objected to giving them my money. So the other place, the better one of the bad two, is a similar affair. You drop it off, you go back and it wouldn't be done, and then they'd drop everything and do it there and then for you, sort of thing. So it's marginally better. I went there yesterday, as you saw in the video, pulled in. No mechanics there. The boss lady was there. She said, oh, well, you could leave the wheel, she says, and we'll do it. I said, well, when would it be ready? She says, tomorrow. And I sort of tried to pin it down to a time. She says, well, I haven't got the inner tube in stock. Now, this is a place that regularly repairs tyres and everything for agricultural tractors, the small sort of vineyard tractors, exactly the same size tyres as mine, which is one of the reasons I take it there. Well, they haven't got the basic materials in stock to do the job. So that would have been a case of waiting for the inner tube to come. That could take a week, messing about, and then them to get round to fitting it out. I thought, no, sod it, that's it, I'm done. You know, I've been here 20 years. It's got past the point where you can laugh these things off, you know, when the most basic of things are turned into a huge drama. It's just not funny anymore. So what we've done is I've got a plan B. I've ordered a tyre removal machine, which is something I've been threatening to do for some time. It's a DIY job. I know I'm going to struggle with it, with the lorry wheels and the tractor wheels. And I know I'm probably going to have to weld up some adapters to get them to fit, but I'd rather spend half a day struggling than have this repeated messing about when these people stress me out, you know, and it just burns a hole in my head for weeks afterwards, you know, after I've been through all that. It's just annoying. So, yeah, that was the plan B. I've also ordered 2 inner tubes because that's one of the problems. They often don't have stocks of inner tubes, and there are some places, some car mechanic places, that may have the machine that will fit this tyre on. And being I've got the inner tube there for them, they may be able to fit it. But then we could be in the same boat again. So I'm searching for a plan C, which I also came up late last night when I should have been sleeping. I came up with a plan C, as I suppose we all do, of a way round and see if I could get this tyre off myself. So I'm just going to spin you round. I brought the tyre down and I'm thinking, how am I going to break the bead on this tyre? And I thought, well, actually, I've got the perfect hydraulic bead breaker right here. I can use the blade of the digger to actually break the bead on the wheel, and hopefully, yeah, that will break the bead, and hopefully with my tyre levers I will be able to get the tyre off. Now, the only tyre levers I've got, unfortunately, here are motorcycle ones. I'm not even going to start you on the motorcycle tyre, you know, story with motorcycle mechanics. I'm sure you can guess all that as well. So yeah, I bought the kit to change my motorcycle tyres myself. But I don't know how well they're going to work actually on this dumper tyre. I'll just put lots of washing up fluid on it and see if I can get it off. So okay, I think that's enough chit chat. Let's give it a go and see if we can make this happen. Okay, so that's the digger started. I've got to say, in this off-gridding game, it's really hard not to feel like life's, you know, conspiring against you some days. I specifically come down to this digger earlier on, you know, and tried to start it because we've had some cold nights. I didn't know how good the battery was going to cope, and it started for, you know, first time, no problem. Left it for 10 minutes, switched off, and then brought everything down here, went back to it, tried to start it, wouldn't start at all. Went back home for the spare battery, got down here, thought I'll just quickly test it before I put this new battery on, started up again, contrary bloody thing. So hopefully, you know, God's had his entertainment for the morning sufficiently, you know, from my misery, and he'll finally leave me alone to get on with this little bit of a job. Okay, so that seems to have worked. That's been broken both sides, so that worked pretty well, pretty easily. So I'm going to douse this down, I think, with some washing up fluid and try these motorcycle tyre irons and see if I can actually shift this tyre. Okay, so that's off. The valve was a problem. See if I can find that. Yeah, that's completely come away there. And also I noticed a previous patch on here had actually stuck to the inside of the tyre, which probably didn't help either. But anyway, at least we've got it off. I think I'm only going to undo one side because I think I'll be able to feed the new inner tube in, although I will check the wheel thoroughly for any burrs or anything that might go out the new inner tube. Okay, so that's that done for now. All we can do is hope that Amazon next day delivery is going to be next day delivery, because that's another thing that can turn into a week-long drama also. So yeah, all we can do is keep our fingers crossed. Hope the delivery man decides he could be bothered to come up to the village today and drops those inner tubes off. Good morning and welcome back. Today's Thursday morning and the drama of the dumper tyre continues. If you recall, this actually started Monday when I wanted to start work and found out a flat tyre. I ordered the inner tubes Monday night for next day delivery. They didn't come Tuesday, they ended up coming yesterday, Wednesday. And they actually came wrong. Not their fault, actually my fault. I ordered 16 by 7.5 when in actual fact I needed to order 7.5 by 16. The difference is quite big. I'll show you in a bit of B-roll. Yeah, there's quite a big difference in size because the 16 by 7.5 is 16 centimetres wide to fit a 7.5 inch wheel, when in actual fact I needed a 16-inch wheel and basically 7.5 inches wide inner tube. So anyway, I wasn't going to order it again and risk getting the wrong one come. So what I did is I actually went to the first place I described the other day, which I really don't like, and I sacked a long time ago because they normally just mess me about for days. But as it happens, I'm glad I did, because they've actually had a shake-up in there. I walked through the front door and the guy was there at the desk who I know, who used to work at Building Merchants, really efficient. He was there and he says, yeah, you'll have to go through to the workshop to get your inner tube. I says, I'm not dealing with that prat, he can't be dealing with that guy. He says, no, he's been sacked. So he obviously thought he knew what I meant and somebody else had problems with him as well. They sacked him and there was a new guy in there. So yeah, straight in, I got the inner tube and straight out again. So now we're sort of at the position we were Monday night, where we're ready to put a new inner tube in this tyre. Okay, so we're going to take our time with this job. Let's get this right so we don't have to do it again. I've cleaned all the wheel, I've cleaned the tyre, I've cleaned the outside of the tyre and the inside, washed it all out and dried it. I'm going to give it a quick hoover up on the inside just to get rid of any bits of debris there might be, and then we'll try and get this new inner tube fitted. Okay guys, so that tyre's actually over the rim now. Sorry I didn't film all of that, but it was fighting me. It definitely wasn't a how to do video. And the wind's been getting up here, blowing the camera over and everything, so I sort of just had to give up and get on with it. Okay, so I'll spin you around. You can see that's on. I'm pretty sure I haven't managed to pinch you in the tube. I was really careful. Great deal of messing about, stamping around and everything. So I think what I'm going to do now is going to inflate it right up. See if we can pop it onto the actual rim and seal it on the rim again and take it from there. Okay, so I think we've just about got that. I'm just going to tap the pressure right up here to pop the rim out, make sure it's all the way out, but I think it's out. I had to let it up and down a few times, readjust the rim, but then eventually I think now we've got it. So I'm just going to take it up to sort of 60 psi. I'm not sure what that is. That's yeah, 4 bar. I normally only run these tyres at 1 bar around the land, and I may up them to 1.5 bar when I go on the roads. But yeah, we'll take it right up and make sure this is actually seated pop this tyre, and then let it back down to the correct pressure. Whoa, look at this wind. Check correct pressure, and then back down the farm and get it back on the dumper ready for tomorrow morning. Okay, so that's the wheel on. It's now 2 o'clock on Thursday, which is midday or the morning over for Spain. So that's me finished for the day, and we'll start again fresh Friday morning, which is tomorrow. So yeah, 5 days taken up with just messing before we even managed to start the job. Now, bad news for you guys out there who you know, are planning on thinking, oh, you know, an off-grid lifestyle or a self-reliant lifestyle, that this is once in a blue moon. All this is pretty damn typical. Probably 7 times out of 10 when you do anything, it's likely to really fight you like this. Now I know a lot of you out there probably sat thinking, now you're shaking your head, you know, you don't do this sort of thing. Well, I guarantee you the people who do are sat there nodding their heads. It's always like this, and it's pretty damn relentless. Good morning and welcome back. We're still getting tested, but I'm not going to bore you further with the trials and tribulations of YouTube and off-gridding. So this morning what we're going to do, I've warmed up the machines, they're warming up now, and we're going to get on with this digger, or digger in. So quickly, what I'm going to just quickly run through what's been done. So what we've done is here, is I've started the work. Here on the sort of on the right here, I put in a string line, post at either end, a string line all the way along here. And then what I did is I marked on the soil below the string line with an old bag of plaster, the line where I want it to go. I did the same on the other side, and then I dug 2 trenches, obviously one here, one here. Now that is to give me the levels either side. At that point on, all I have to do is remove the soil from between those 2 trenches and move it over to the other side of the property. Okay then, so once that's done, we've got all this soil out, we're going to move this rubble here. Anything that's too bigger rocks or good boulders, we're going to move over to the pile just behind to the right of the digger there, and the soil's going to go down just down by the false pepper tree there in the corner, ready to do the repair the bank there, which has been eroded away by the storms. Now this type of job, when you can get on with it, is quite a good job. It means you can sort of achieve 3 or 4 tasks just with one action. And in digging this out, this soil and ready for this road, I get soil to repair things. I get to get rid of this eyesore of a rubble pile which has been here dating back to when I used to use this as actually a builder's and breaker's yard. So yeah, I'll be glad to see the back of that. That also means then when that rubble's gone, we can plant another line of trees in there, and it also frees up where we're going to put our vegetable patch. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I think we've waited long enough. Let's quickly get on with this job before something else goes wrong, shall we? Okay, so it's coming on. Done a good chunk of it. We've got about another 3/4 of an hour before it's 2 o'clock, which is basically the Spanish midday, and when the morning finishes here. When in Spain I work till the Spanish hours, it suits me quite well. So we're getting to a bit of a situation here now. We're struggling to get sort of the dumper close enough. The option, I could move that wobble again, but I don't fancy moving it away and then moving it back again into this hole. So I think all we're going to do is I'm going to put a ramp, blade this out a bit, ramp it down a bit smoother down here into this hole, so we can get the dumper down. It means 180 in the digger each time, 180 degrees around and doing it, so you sort of the economy of motion start to go out the window. But I think it's going to be the easiest course of action. Okay, that's it for this morning. That's probably about 3 to 4 hours this morning on that. So quite a lot cleared. We're getting, you know, well over halfway. I've just been back with the digger and just pushed the soil up a bit because we're starting to run out of room, but I can always pile it up higher if need be. Okay, so that's it for today. Tomorrow's Saturday and we're coming to work over the weekend because we need to catch up on this work now. So I think what I'll do is call it a day today and I'll bring you back in tomorrow. Good morning and welcome back. It's the next day, Saturday morning. The machine's up in the background there warming up. So I think what we can do is we're just going to get on with this job. So that's me done for today. That's 2:30 again. I may come back tomorrow and do this Sunday, or if I don't feel like it, it'll be Monday morning. We ain't got much more to do here. I'll just quick spin you around and explain a few things. So along here, we just need to size this off a bit, this loose soil, and blade along the edge to neaten that up a bit. That'll have to be done all the way both sides. Then we'll blade back and forwards to try and knock out some of the bumps and fill in some of the dips. I can see a dip straight away sort of around here. And then we've got to dig the ramp out that we put into, you know, to get the dumper in and out. And then we'll be ready for the rubble stage. Now, coming back to here, if you're wondering why I've finished here with the, you know, the rubble and what's going to be the gravel, and haven't continued right to the end, that's because from this point on it's going to be concrete. I want this to be concrete here while it's still sort of semi-flat, so that my rear drive vehicles that aren't particularly good when they're unladen can get good traction at this point before it has to go up the slope here, which unfortunately will have to be concrete as well. Otherwise I'm going to be continually, you know, repairing this damage like this every year, and I can't be doing with that. So that's going to unfortunately have to be concrete all the way up to the top, coming all the way down round to there, and then to the point where I'll start digging. I'm thinking along here, sort of across here, there's going to have to be some sort of grill to get water away. And then probably some sort of channel down the edge of there, a little channel of concrete to take it right down the bottom. Otherwise we're going to have water sort of coming down, flowing straight across here, and then washing all this away. Okay then, so that's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning and welcome back. I've got help this morning. Yeah, it's Monday morning. We didn't work Sunday in the end, apart from being dragged out of bed by a local farmer to repair a tractor part. But that was only sort of drill out a stud, new threads, new bolt, and that took me about half an hour, so I didn't bother taking my pyjamas off. Job done and back into bed. So anyway, it's Monday morning. We're going to start again. We're going to divide and conquer a bit. Anthea's got a few jobs and I'm going to carry on with this digging. So, Anthea this morning is down to help with the water. We've shown this before in videos. The top layer is level of the land is higher than the actual water tank, so we have to use a generator and we have to use an actual pump as well to get them watered. Now it's been just over a month and a half since we had the floods, so we're going to start our water regime again on the top level, which obviously drains the best and had the least water, because soon things start to wake up. The first up are the almond trees, and they're going to be coming to bud anytime soon, sort of end of December, start of January. So we're going to start by watering all that top level. So she's on with that, working the generator, making sure the nozzles are unblocked and all that sort of thing. Then she's coming back down here. She's going to move all this crap off this pile, these blocks, these stakes, this pipe work, a bit of fencing there, all off to one side out the way so I can then work on this pile. And then I think it's probably a case de-weed it a little bit of the sort of the larger weeds we can get that out of the way so that's not mixed in. The smaller stuff we'll just have to, you know, do as we go along. And then we're going to start shifting finally this eyesore that's been here for months, or for years even, into this hole, and we'll finally get that bit of land back, which I'll be happy to see after all this time. Okay, so it's the same old routine, get the machines warmed up. It's a bit chilly, but it's a lovely sunny day, not much wind, so yeah, it should be a good day for working. Okay, so I think we're going to settle for that. I'll quickly take you up onto the next level so we can look down on this and get a better idea of what we've got to do next. Okay, so looking from above here, we can get a better idea of what's going on. Okay, so we've got our road and our trench along there and our rubble. See the pile of soil we've got there. Now even that's quite spread out, that soil. I don't think there is much soil there, especially when you consider that's loose and the rubble's compact. I think there's more rubble. So what I think we're going to do is we'll start at sort of over on this end here, push the rubble in here and work our way back, because there's another section I shall follow and dig out a lot across here, and another rectangle which will basically be a turnaround for vehicles, which needs filling with hardcore as well. So I don't want to be in the situation where I'll start filling in from this side, work back here, and then find I've got a pile of rubble there that then has to be moved over to here. It makes no sense. So we'll start there. Now another problem we might have is it depends how loose it is. It's quite compacted down, how easy it'll be to shift. If it's too hard to shift, what I should do is I should do two channels in it. I should dig one in straight through about there, dig a width, another one where there's a dip straight through about there, and that means that the rubble pile is less supported and it can fall both sides instead of only one way, and it'll make it a bit easier to shift. But we'll have to see how we go on. Okay, so we're going to have to call it a day today. That one of no problems didn't last long. 3 days or 3 mornings before we got problems again. And I'm afraid, yeah, we're back to an old problem with the digger there, which sounds like fuel starvation. Not long changed the filters, cleaned all the fuel lines and put new fuel lines on them actually. I also got a machine, took the injectors out, put all the injectors on the machine that cleans them all out and everything, put it all back together. It's been running fine for quite some time. But now it looks like we're back to that problem, which feels like fuel starvation again. So looks like tomorrow, Christmas Eve, we'll be taking diggers to bits. So I think what I'm going to have to do is end this video here. Please hit like and subscribe, and we'll pick this up in the new year.